Welcome to this video. I'm John Wilder. We're on Clinton Lake. We're fishing a team tournament. I've never been here before. Actually, that's a lie. I was here 2 days prior. Today, what you're seeing now is Sunday. I was here on Friday to practice for about 4 hours or so. I dropped the kids off at school, drove an hour or so to the lake, and then had to pick them back up from school. So I got 4 or 5 hours in, but this is the only waypoint that I made. Fishing was not great for me during practice. The bank that you're looking at that has the couple of boats on it there across the cove, that's the only waypoint that I made. I was boat number 14, and when I got there, the eventual winners of the tournament were fishing that bank. So I think they were actually boat 1 on takeoff, so they obviously got first pick. You know, I came off a plane, came in kind of around the corner and saw that they were there. And so I went and fished behind me in that cove that's behind me that you can't see for about an hour. And so I gave them an hour to fish it. Then I started kind of making my way over to it because I wanted to fish there as well. And I really had nowhere else to go. But as I came around, you could see these other boats that you're seeing are crappie boats. And man, these crappie guys on Clinton, they don't give a rat's ass about bass fishermen. They definitely don't care less. You can see this crappie guy, or these guys, they just cut me off and just go down the bank in front of me. I mean, I'm casting to them. They don't care. I mean, I had been coming down the bank maybe 200 or 300 yards, trolling motor on the same speed, throwing a buzzbait. It's not like I was stationary. They knew I was coming. And they just came on over and just went right in front and kept going down the bank. So I had to switch gears. I could have gotten mad about it and said something, but I don't understand what the point of that would have been. I mean, I wasn't catching anything anyways. It's just, man, I'm just surprised. That's not how you treat other fishermen. So that just escalated the time frame of me jumping over to the bank I originally wanted to fish anyway. But let's see how I interact with this gentleman. I'm going to jump in behind you and go this way if that's all right. Thank you. A much better interaction with this gentleman. He was much nicer. Of course, I asked to go behind him. I didn't try and go in front of him. And I think the fishing gods rewarded me because there's my first cast. Although I put down I put down the buzz bait and I picked up the spinner bait. And here's the second cast. And you know this was about a 3-pound bass. I am so used to having the camera back and where the light goes in the stern of the boat there, and now I have the camera up at the console, and I'm so used to being able to see everything that happens in the boat from where the camera used to be that it didn't even dawn on me that fish didn't get put on camera, because I flipped it into the seats and then I went and I just put it straight into the box and started fishing again. But it was about 3-pounders. It wasn't my biggest fish of the day, but I had 2 that were about 3. When I ended up weighing my big bass for the day, I think it was 3.5. All my fish basically came on this spinnerbait that I'm throwing. Once I put down the buzzbait and picked up the spinnerbait, it really changed for me. Plus, I started fishing out more. That bite kind of came more towards the point of that cove, and then I came back over and was fishing this secondary cove. This is the point where those crappie guys cut me off. I decided to go back through it with a spinnerbait to see if it made a difference, and it did make a difference here on this point. This is maybe 30-45 minutes, maybe later, after I had just went by with the buzzbait. Unfortunately, it's not until after I put this fish in the box, which I think was, 2.5 pounder or so, that it dawned on me that the camera was not picking up the shot of the entire boat and that none of that was on film.
That's number 2. I'm not even entirely sure if I got the first one on film that I was thinking about it, because I flipped it on the backside of the boat, but it was bigger than that last one. I think I was being rewarded for fishing around those guys and not cutting them off. Oh, we're gonna have to retie now. All right, number 2.
So I finally figured out, after some trial and error, that throwing the spinnerbait on laydowns was the ticket for me. I didn't get any bites or catch any fish anywhere other than laydowns, and the laydowns couldn't be in the back of the coves, at least not for me. They had to be more towards the mouths or even on the main lake.
I don't think this one's gonna keep.
For instance, I think this particular spot, this is the secondary point that is behind me that you're seeing. It didn't keep, obviously.
I thought that was a good one, and I felt it roll. Not a bad catfish, 3 pounder or something, 2.5 pounder. Man, I thought that was a good one. Little baby turtle. Little baby turtle.
So these next couple of minutes will really show you what I was doing. I was making multiple casts, repetitive casts. So, there's a laydown. I'm making 6 or 7 casts to this laydown, and some of them being the exact same cast. And I'm just kind of doing the same thing over and over again. So this little stretch of bank here, there's, I don't remember, 3 laydowns on it or something. And just watch for the next couple of minutes if you want to see how I'm really doing it. And you'll notice I'm making 6 or 7 casts, some of them being the exact same cast, just kind of over and over to the same laydown. And, well, anyway, let's see what happens. I know it doesn't seem too intense. I'm just making roll casts out towards the end because I don't think that they're like up on the bank. This is pretty shallow water, so I'm really just kind of roll casting to, the latter third of the laydown, if you will. That's out in the water, that's out kind of in the deeper the water. And then once I'm past the laydown, I just kind of reel it back in and fling it back out there. And that's all that I'm really doing. I wasn't really pausing or twitching or anything. Mostly because the blades are only turning for a little bit. I'm only fishing maybe 5-10 feet of the laydown itself, of the sticks in the water, and then I'm reeling it back in and casting back out. So really short, kind of precise presentations. I know it maybe looks like I'm just flinging it out there, but 9 times out of 10, I'm putting the spinnerbait exactly where I want it. I occasionally have an errant cast, sometimes more than occasionally. The persistence paid off, and yes, I did just kick that fish down into the bottom of my boat.
That's a good one.
It came off as I swung it over the boat, and I wasn't about to have it flop out of the boat, so down it went.
Boom. Oh my God, that was a fantastic bite. I do think I figured it out. That one might keep. I'm sure there's other ways to catch them today. But this one, oh yeah, that'll keep. Number 4. Anyway, what I was going to say, so I'm throwing a spinnerbait on laydowns on out. I've wasted several hours trying to fish laydowns in the pockets and back, and they seem to be more out. But man, whenever I come up to, I'll try and show you if I can loosen this up. Bear with me a second. I'm sure it's a bad shot, but you kind of see these laydowns. I mean, I've caught a catfish or short one or bass off of pretty much everyone I've come to that's on out on the main lake area. So I'm going to try and find more of those. I don't know where any of them are because I didn't, haven't marked any and I've never been here. But I just kind of had the trolling motor on high and I troll up to them and then, well, great. It's great.
The bite really died down for me. Maybe if I went back through the areas where I was catching fish, it would have been better. But I started to see carp rolling, carp getting up shallow, and whenever they start to roll, I have a real tough time catching bass. So I switched gears. Here I'm throwing a swim bait, and I was throwing a crankbait for a little bit, found some rocks. I was trying to find more fresh laydowns, on the main lake, and I found some, but it just never really panned out. So, I fished till the end, only had 4 fish. Here I am fishing up to the check-in, if you will, where we launched from, and the guys are done. It's basically time. I only have like a minute left, and I'm chucking and winding at nothing now, just praying for a miracle, but it didn't come. I ended up taking 6th place. I missed out on 5th place by 6/100ths of an ounce. And I want to say 1st place was 13 pounds something, the guys that ended up winning it. So, I only weighed in 4 fish. If I would have caught one more fish, not only would I have had a high finish, which 6th place out of 22 boats is a pretty good finish, I think. I'm proud of it. But, it could have been, I could have taken a check with just one more bite and possibly have won with another 3-pounders. So I had a good day. I think I figured out the pattern a little late in the morning, and maybe had I stumbled on the spinnerbait a little bit earlier, you'd be looking at a victory. So anyway, if I had to do it over it again, I would have done the same thing. The spinnerbait thing, I would have ran it all day and had found more productive water. So if you find yourself on Clinton in May and the wind's blowing out of the south, and that's what I would try and do. So there you have it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.